Oh, I will, and I'll pat Scout. Yeah, she, yeah. Pat Scout if she comes over.
Hopefully she'll come and say hello. She's very like aloof, so it's kind of like if you're too keen, then like she's like, oh yeah, I'll just like keep them keen.
Yeah,
and then once you like finally forget about her, she'll be like, oh yeah, all right, I'll come over and sit on your lap or something.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm such a dog person, so we'll see. Yeah.
Do you have a dog?
I don't. I haven't had a dog for 12 years or something like that.
Okay.
So, but mainly being. Have we started, or is this part of it?
This could be in, or it cannot be in. It's up to you.
I love dogs, so let's talk about dogs.
All right, cool. Welcome to the podcast, Kieran.
Thanks, Luke. It's good to be here. So I haven't had a dog in recent years just because of the lifestyle of being a musician and kind of being out a lot for gigs, and I would never want to have a dog and neglect it. Never, So. Yeah, but having said that, whenever I go to someone's place and there's a dog, I'm all for it. So anyway, that's starting our podcast talking about dogs. I love that.
No, it's classic. I think we had like Taylor Douglas was just over.
Oh yeah,
just had a baby, and so it was
awesome.
No, we're gonna have like fatherhood chat for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know, monumental life shifts.
Yeah,
so
totally. Yeah,
it's kind of nice just to catch up with people as where they're at.
Yep.
But musically, you're playing the musical Sister Act.
Yes. Yep.
How's that been?
Yeah, really fun. Good, fun music. What a lot of people don't understand about the musical, and they often don't realize it until they are in their seat watching it, is that it's not the music from the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so you didn't know that, right?
No.
Yeah. So it's not the music from the movie. It's all original music by Alan Menken, who has written lots of Disney stuff like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and a lot of stuff. Very high profile composer. So he's written all the songs for it, and they're great songs. But a lot of people, they come into the theater wanting to hear the classic songs that they do in the movie, which is not the case. So a lot of people are disappointed by that. But having said that, obviously the story is exactly the same, and it's just it's an on stage kind of thing. Now I love playing it. Number one, the first reason is because everyone involved is such a legend. Beautiful people to work with, and I think that's the number one thing. If you're going to go to a job, go to do a show 8 times a week, you want to be working with people that you want to be around. So, and the drum book is really fun. You get to play lots of disco, lots of 4 on the floor.
Cool.
Which is fun, and a bit of mallets as well, which is good to kind of just change things up a bit. Like even just from a physical standpoint of sitting out in the kit playing some disco, and then the next tune's like a ballad where you're playing Glock or whatever, or vibes. It's actually all done on a digital mallet cat. If you've ever heard of a mallet cat before,
no, what's that?
It's essentially a keyboard, like a percussion keyboard, so you can change patches from sounds to sound. So it's just the one thing about yay long, so I have a vibes patch, I have a Glock patch, I have like a chimes patch on it, and I do all that stuff just from the one module. So cool. It obviously means that I don't need to have a lot of room for a vibraphone and a glockenspiel and it.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier for setup.
And you play it with like mallets.
You can. Well, this is the thing. You can literally play it with whatever. You can use your finger if you wanted to, because it's just a digital thing. Right. So I do choose to play with like say vibraphone mallets. The main reason being that there's often, I'd say I do a vibraphone line on that, and then I quickly have to do a cymbal roll. Like a mallet cymbal roll.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to just be holding the same mallet. But there are some bits where I actually use normal drumsticks to play the lines, because I have a quick transition to the kit, for example.
Okay.
So it's all, you can literally use anything as long as you're hitting with something. You can use your finger or whatever. Yeah. I'd never use my finger, but just for the point of it,
yeah, sure,
you can use anything. So yeah. But yeah, really, really good fun show to be a part of. Yeah.
Is this the first time that you've been on one for so long?
No. So Rocky Horror in 2023 was the whole national tour, which was 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so this Sister Act run is 3 months in Melbourne.
Yep.
Rocky Horror, the longest we were in any one city was the longest was either Sydney or Melbourne. That was probably pretty similar. That was, I think, 2.5 months per, like, Sydney and Melbourne each.
Yep.
yeah, so I mentioned 8 months of the whole tour before. It's a bit different because we were jumping from city to city. It was kind of a fresh thing each city in a way, like just of your surroundings and stuff. So it was much more manageable, I think, doing that long run of a tour than doing 8 months of the one theatre. Like for example, like Beauty and the Beast at the moment is on in Melbourne. That's a 10-month run in the one theatre. So my mate James Davies, who I believe has been on this podcast, is doing that. And that, I'd love to have a chat with him about, I mean, maybe you already have, about how that is like playing 10 months in the one theatre of the one show. Especially a show like Beauty and the Beast, because it's not it's a very different show to say what I'm doing at the moment of like hard hitting disco. It's very much different. So it's more, I guess, orchestral stuff, which is cool as well. But yeah, so the Rocky thing was a nice breakup, going from say Perth, to Gold Coast, and yeah, it was that's the longest one I've done, but it had its
nice to have the variety of breakup of locations.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And also seasons as well, because like you feel because in Melbourne it was like the middle of winter, and then by the time we're in Gold Coast it was like September, and it was like just like stunning weather like in the Gold Coast. It was beautiful. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What's it like playing the same thing so much?
Like,
it's 8 calls, you play the same show.
Yep. Yeah, I get asked this question a lot. It's a really interesting thing. It's very much like a mental challenge. And I feel like I go through phases of different. For me, it's interesting when you are playing the same thing 8 times a week. You start to notice little things in your playing that you can improve upon, or just things that you're doing regularly, being like, oh, maybe I should be slightly changing how I kind of do that, or even just the motion of how I'm hitting the snare for backbeats and all that kind of thing. And you get to notice, I guess, little things of like, oh, is this setup the perfect setup that I should be having for my particular body, or for what I'm doing in the show? So like just recently, I decided to raise my hats up just a touch, because I felt like I was getting in my own way a little bit in some of the grooves. Because I think as the season goes on, you kind of start to hit harder. Okay. I think slightly, because you get in the space of being in a drum booth 8 times a week, and you can kind of go for your life in terms of volume, if it's meant to be a big thing. So I feel like you gain physical strength in that way of hitting harder, and then you can kind of keep like potentially getting harder and harder hitting, which actually I find translates well out the front if you're in a booth. You can really, like, especially the snare, you can really kind of go for that backbeat thing. So I've raised my hats recently just because I felt like my right hand was getting in the way of my left hand a little bit. So little things like that, I've kind of gone about just altering slightly if I can. Obviously, I can't change too much stuff because all the mics are in place and all that kind of thing, but I always let the sound team know.
Yep.
So that's more of a physical aspect, I've just realized. But the mental aspect is interesting because you start to get really obviously used to the show. And then sometimes you get a bit of a call to the void situation to be like, oh, I could do this thing here. But I know I'm not really meant to. That kind of thing happens sometimes. Which is really interesting. But yeah, it's a really good test for the mind, I think. I tend not to play the same show every time, and I think it's a blessing as a drummer in this particular show, because you can like mix up your fills here and there if you want, because there's lots of slashes in my part of like fill. So I do gravitate towards certain fills in certain bits, which I just kind of like to do in those bits, and now I just always do those fills. But there are other bits where I might do try to just do a different thing each time, which is good for everyone. I think for myself and also the band, hearing something a little bit different, which is nice, because for example, some of the woodwind instruments, they don't have that luxury to be improvising those bits. They have actual lines that they need to play, and otherwise if they're mucking around with them, then it's actually going to be wrong. Whereas we as drummers can have that flexibility sometimes, which is really good.
Yeah.
I was talking to James about this actually recently of like, does he have any leeway in Beauty and the Beast? And he's like, nah, not really. Like I pretty much have to play exactly the same every night. Whereas something like Rocky Horror or Sister Act, actually especially Rocky Horror, that's a good one for, you can change it a bit from night to night. Obviously mainly talking about kind of fills and stuff like that. Not grooves as such, to be honest, but yeah. So I always like to add a little bit, here and there.
Is this something that you've always wanted to do, like play the professional theatre circuit?
So yeah. Probably ever since I've taken a liking to playing professionally. I think so. Yeah. Like having the likes of like Dave Beck as a teacher and seeing him do all the big shows come through. And then going to go see the shows. It's inspirational. Kind of being like, oh, I could be part of something like this big production one day, and it's often I often take for granted when I'm in the pit, just with musos just playing, then I often take for granted like the spectacle that's on stage with the sound and the visuals and everything. It's pretty massive. It's pretty huge. Like it's a pleasure to be part of those shows. Yeah.
Do you get to see like a run through like pre music?
So this is the thing as well, because I haven't seen Sister Act, so I don't really know like what's. I mean, I know what's going on stage somewhat, but I can't see anything. What I like to do is, if I know I'm going to be playing a show, whether that's depping or the drummer for the show in a city, I love to see it before I play it, if I can. So, for example, like I've depped on Moulin Rouge in Melbourne. I saw that. Oh, did I see that after I played it? I either saw that before I started depping, or I had done a few shows and then I went to see it just because I wanted to see it, and then I went back to depping a few after that. That's kind of an interesting thing as well, because I did that with Wicked as well. I did a few shows. I saw it with my fiance, and then I went back and did it. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's why I'm doing that random woodblock thing there. Because like, if you can't see it, then it's like this random woodblock that's there. It's like, okay, that sounds fine. But when you see it, it's like, oh, it actually relates to this choreography thing that this character's doing. It actually makes a lot of sense. Or even sometimes it might be actually humorous. Like it's meant to be a little funny gag that is really important. And if the sound isn't there, then the gag just doesn't hit.
Right.
So it's things like that, which is really, I think, insightful to see. Yeah, to see what you're doing, how it relates to what's on stage. So I went. Funnily enough, there is a story of Sister Act. I went to go see it in Sydney because it was in Sydney first, and me and Shannon flew up, and she had something else to do in Sydney the day prior to when we were going to go watch Sister Act, because I knew I was going to play it in Melbourne. So we went up and I landed, and then an hour after we landed, we were going to go see it the following night. An hour after we landed, I get a text from my mate Michael Tudor, who was drumming on the Sister Act Sydney season, and he played percussion on Hamilton in the original Sydney run when it first came to Sydney.
Oh, cool.
So he texted me, and he said, mate, I've just gotten a call from the Hamilton people. They need a drummer for tomorrow night, like desperately. And they've asked me, but I'm on Sister Act, as in, this is Michael saying.
Yeah.
And so I've given them your number because I know that you're in Sydney seeing the shows, like meant to be seeing the show tomorrow night. So anyway, I get a call from Hamilton people, say, hey, can you do the show tomorrow night? I was like, oh, I'm meant to be like doing something else, but okay, yeah, sure. So I'll play it. Because obviously it's an honor to be called for that kind of thing last minute, and I'm helping them out, and they're very grateful for that. And I luckily had already played Hamilton a bunch of times in Melbourne. So for this is the return Sydney season that's still happening right now. Actually, yeah, it's about to finish up. But so yeah, when I went to Sydney to see Sister Act, I ended up playing Hamilton, and I never saw it. So I never got to see it. So I'm hoping that because obviously they're still going to tour it around Sister Act to Brizzy and like Perth and Adelaide and stuff. So maybe I'll go and try and see it at some stage. But I'm not at this stage. I'm not too fast. I'm like, oh, whatever, because at this stage I've played it about 80 times, or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. but I'd love to see it to see kind of some stuff because
It's cool hearing about how like, oh, that makes sense with this part that I'm playing or something.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
How does it make you feel? Like I was talking to somebody just last week saying that I was about to have this chat with you because they were going to see Sister Act. And I'm mixing up a couple of tales. But basically someone said, I didn't realize it was a live band.
Oh, yeah, okay.
How does that make you feel? Is that a compliment or is it like we're here? So
yeah, it's a shame. It is a bit of a shame that people think that. So often shows these days, just some of them that I've been seeing, they make a point of having the band come out at the end of the show or something like that. So, for example, and Juliet, that show, the cast do their bows and all that, and then the band actually come on stage. I think even like with some of their instruments, and being like, "We're the band, hello, yes, bowing," because otherwise people do think that it's a CD playing. Or not CD these days probably, but but they think it's a recording, because but that is a compliment as well because it goes to show how good the bands are and how good the sound team are and all that kind of thing. For Rocky Horror, we were actually on stage anyway, so they could see us. But the Melbourne season, we weren't on stage because we actually couldn't fit in the Athenaeum Theatre because it's a bit of a smaller space. So we were underneath the stage. But what we did was the company were like, no, we want to make sure that people know there's a band playing. So we did what Anne Juliet did. We came out on stage like after the cast bowed and we did our bow and stuff. But that's not every musical. That's pretty kind of rare that happens. So we don't do that for Sister Act. But yeah, it is a shame. I mean, look, people can see the top of the MD's head, like playing, so that they know that someone's down there doing something, waving their hands around. So I'm hoping that they can kind of put two and two together that we are down there. And it's an open pit, so people can peer over and see that there's a band down there. But obviously, if you're in the circle or whatever, you might not be able to see any of us apart from the MD. But yeah, so it is a shame that people think that they don't realize that there's a band. But as you said, like it's kind of a compliment in a way.
I feel like it's mixed because it's you've missed the point that there's a whole team of musicians there making
well, as they say, it's a musical. There are musicians. So anyway.
If we chat origin stories.
Yeah.
How did you first get started on the drums?
So I started when I was 12. I'd previously learned other instruments leading up to drums, which I kind of stuck with for like each instrument, 1 or 2 years. So like it was like piano first when I was in like prep or something. And then there was a year 2 string program at my school, so I did cello. And then I did euphonium for a bit.
Wow.
And like a little bit of guitar as well. So funnily enough, like I realized after a few of these instruments that like I always picked the instruments that you could sit down while playing.
Wow.
Which was, I think that was the main reason why I picked cello. I was like, I can sit down while playing. Like it's such a lazy trait. Oh my God. Anyway, that's the same with drums, of course.
Wow.
But yeah, so when I must have been, 11 or something, I was, my mum was noticing I was like tapping on the table a lot, like tapping out rhythms and stuff. And then she thought, maybe we should give him some drum lessons. Ever since then, it's just been drums basically.
Wow.
With some dabbling in guitar and here and there, but it's since I've been since I was 12, it's been basically just drums.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Did your family play much music in the house as you were a kid?
Yeah, so my mum's a piano player. And so she was, always, playing piano, practicing for, she's like more of a choral accompanist.
Oh yeah.
Is probably her main, in terms of playing, her main gig. So she was always, practicing these particular choir pieces, for the next concert and all that kind of thing. But also playing stuff on the CD player and all that. Dad is a music lover. He's not a musician, but he's a music lover. So there's always either mum playing piano or some sort of record playing through the house. A lot of the time. Do
you remember what the first song was that you played on the drums?
That's a really good question. I don't. um, that's a great question. I've actually never really, funnily enough, I've never really thought about that before. What's the first song that I played on drums? I don't know. Gosh, I'm gonna have to have a think about that. It's a great, really, really great question.
What kind of music were you into when you were like 12 years old?
Probably, just trying to think if I was. This was maybe a little bit later, but groups like Blink-182, Green Day for sure. Actually, no, Green Day was probably before Blink-182. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember going to a dress-up party. I think this was before I was drumming, as Billy Joe Armstrong,
wow.
when I was probably I don't know, maybe 10 or something. So with the black dyed hair or like little bits of kind of color. And yeah, like with the red tie, the black kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was definitely, Green Day was definitely a love of mine when I was fairly young, like just kind of getting into that kind of music. And I think that was before I was drumming, I think. Maybe that was leading into the tapping of the table and all that kind of thing, kept tapping along to Trey Cool's beats, I don't know. I reckon, actually, you know what? Going back to that question you just asked me before, I reckon one of the first songs I probably, or at least beats I tried to play was the Holiday from Green Day.
Oh.
That triplet kind
Yeah.
of, that shuffle kind of floor tom
That's cool.
groove. I reckon that was one of the first, I think, yeah. I've always loved that song, yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, I guess gradually as the years went on, I kind of got into more heavier kind of things like Slipknot and stuff like that. I used to love Slipknot. Yeah, like hearing that, Joey Jordison drumming obviously was beyond my capabilities at the time and still is. But yeah, like that really excited me.
How did the family feel about heavy music?
I don't know if I was like blasting the songs like as such, but I was probably trying to play along to some bits on the kit, which they've always been super supportive of the drumming at home thing.
Cool.
Yeah. God bless them. But yeah, I don't think I was like getting in a massive stereo speaker blasting, before I forget.
Yeah.
As such, but I was probably in my headphones. I was.
So what was the like musical experience of your teenage years? Like, did you start some bands when you were young, or like spend just a lot of time practicing?
Yeah, a bit of both. Definitely the band thing was a big thing for me. So there was a school band I had. We were called Happy Accidents.
Nice.
And that was a big, I think, launching pad for me in terms of just getting to know drumming and playing with other people in that kind of rock scenario. There was a band that I had kind of out of school, but with a friend of mine who I was at school with, but called the Aura Cura. This is going back to like 2010 or something like that.
Okay.
And that was kind of cool because I was like an out of school thing with guys older than me. Apart from the bass player who I mentioned was a schoolmate of mine. And that was kind of cool because we were because of the older guys, we were playing in venues that I wouldn't have been allowed in, first of all, if I wasn't playing. So my mum was always kind of there as a supervisor because I was too young to be in there. But playing, even Battle of the Bands and stuff like that. But we would play this nightclub called Bang in the city.
Okay.
Which is the Royal Melbourne Hotel or something. But the event night was called Bang. And that was like, it's very much like a... I guess like a lot of hardcore bands would play there or whatever, or emo, or kind of that genre, or that kind of scene. So we would play there a little bit, and various other kind of places. And but those like early years of being in bands, like it's just such a, you can't really be taught that any other way than just doing that. And I think that was a big part of my growing up. As a drummer,
That's awesome that you got that experience. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, it was really, really great. And just like recording as well with those bands. Going into studios with a good engineer. I'll give a shout out to Troy McCosker, who's an amazing audio engineer who was involved in a lot of those bands kind of first EPs and stuff like that. Okay. And he always got the best out of me kind of thing in the studio. And I was, the first time kind of doing this kind of thing. And I, didn't know if if I'd be good enough or whatever. I remember like him asking me, oh, can you play to a click track? And at that stage, I didn't know what a click track was. I knew what a metronome was. Obviously, it's the same thing. But I was like, oh yeah, I guess I can play to a click track. And then I did, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll be fine. It's like, yeah, we'll be all good. Yeah,
nice.
Because he probably just doubted whether I could or not at that stage. But yeah, so he was a big one in terms of the more of the studio kind of thing when I was young and recording with bands. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say those two bands, the Happy Accidents and the Aura Cura, were big in terms of my formative years. Yeah,
cool. Did you? I remember that you won the Australian Drum Comp.
Oh yes, yep.
Was that when you were still at high school?
So no, that was 2013. So that was first year uni.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I was still in high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
because you're a year ahead of me.
Right. Yeah. So 2013. Yes, that's right. Yep. So for the start of uni, that's when I won that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did like how does that fit in with the like band scene? The like, spending the time working on your craft as a drummer.
Yeah. So so that going down that route was much more of a in your practice room practicing Frank Corniola tunes or whatever.
Yes.
And all that kind of thing for that particular comp. Yeah. So I'd entered that a few times. So the first time I entered that was in like the intermediate category. I think I was in maybe like year 10 or something, or year 11 or year 10. And I placed in like the top 12 or something. So they send out an email saying you placed in the top 12, but you didn't make it to the final. But I was like, the first time I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I was super stoked.
Yeah.
And then I entered it again, I think the year later. And I think I had to be in the open category because I was too old for the intermediate at that stage, I think. And I wasn't as prepared as the last time. I kind of went into it, I wasn't super happy with the product and I didn't like do well. I didn't place or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's fair enough. I didn't really prepare for this enough. And then the third time I did it was in the open category, and then I was really pretty happy with it, and then I made it to the top 3. And we played at the Australia's Ultimate Drummers Weekend, which doesn't seem to happen anymore, and I'm really disappointed about that. I'm hoping it comes back, and since COVID it hasn't really resurged. But we got to play at that, which it was a really amazing experience, but like super nerve-wracking because it's like literally a whole theater of drummers, like in the Darabin Arts Centre. And not to mention like the judging panel is like Dave Weckl and like these Greg Bissonette and like these amazing world-class drummers like marking you. And obviously the who's who of Australian drummers like Darren Ferrugia and Graham Morgan, like these kind of guys. So so I ended up winning that day, and I was kind of surprised, to be honest. But it was an amazing an amazing thing to happen, and so in terms of the lead up to that, definitely that's more of the like in year 12, for example, I had a big focus on music and drumming, like to the point of like probably too much. Like I was neglecting other subjects and stuff like that, which is fine now because I've obviously gone down the music path. So but so I was in the practice room a lot at school, shedding stuff for my year 12 exam, but also kind of thinking about these competitions and stuff like that. And they kind of merged into one in a way because a lot of the material was potentially the same. Not a lot, but some of them, where some of the snare solos and stuff like that was involved in kind of like VCE and also this competition. So they kind of went hand in hand, I think, preparing for both those things at the same time.
How did it suit your like personality? I don't know, just to like lock yourself in the practice room and just work on something for hours until you get it like come as something that's like fulfilling and enjoyable? For me, yes, definitely. Cool. So I'm an only child, so I my whole life I've been used to kind of making my own fun or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm good. I'm fine by myself. Like I know other people, they kind of always have to be, hanging out with mates or be with their
significant other like all the time or whatever, I'm totally fine with my alone time or like just doing what I want. And I think that suited me well in those, you know, year 12 and stuff, just kind of, just being in the drum room and just shedding.
Cool.
Yeah, I was kind of obsessed with it, and in a way, but also in the back of my mind the whole time was like, oh, I should be studying French right now.
But this is more fun.
Yeah, this is much more fun. Yeah. But yeah, so I was super lucky to have that, the kind of facilities and stuff at school to kind of practice when I could and wanted to. Those years, like you don't realize until you're older, like the amount of time that you do have at that age to really go down that path of practice. We don't really have that as much when we're older. But I'm so glad that I did it then, because it really does stick with you. Like, you know, that all that hard stuff, you know. Yeah.
Why do you find yourself at music school rather than, I don't know, potentially like pursuing more of like your hardcore bands? Doing the band scene thing rather than like, you know, now you're like diving into the world of jazz.
That's true. It's a big contrast. I mean, I always, you know, when I was in the later years of high school, like I couldn't imagine myself going down any other path than music. Like I wouldn't know what to do.
Okay.
I really wouldn't know what to do with myself. So, it was music. And by that time as well, I was also at school playing, you know, in the big band and you know, stuff like that. So I was playing much more jazz, from say year 10 onwards. I was getting much more into the jazz thing. So it was an easy kind of segue into Monash, doing the jazz course there, because I already had some experience with it. Probably more so in terms of like a larger ensemble format rather than the smaller jazz combo format, I guess. Until I hit uni, but that was a pretty clear thing for me. There was to do music, like to go into the to go into uni for music. Totally.
So what was your path like once you finished the music degree?
Oh, yeah. Essentially, you know, teaching and, just kind of picking up whatever gigs I could. The theatre thing didn't come till a fair bit later, I would say, yeah. But, yeah, like lots of little small group jazz gigs at like Paris Cat or... Jazz Lab in more recent years when that came to be, and obviously Bennett Slade before that. But also like just random corporate stuff, you know, weddings and stuff. I was getting a few calls for that. Just the more I was kind of playing, I was getting to know more and more people, and you know how the network thing goes. It's really, it's word of mouth of things like that, and filling in for people who needed filling in for certain gigs and stuff like that. It was a pretty easy transition, I felt, coming out of uni. Like I've been fortunate in the way that I've never, been twiddling my thumbs at home waiting for someone to call me for a gig. Like I've always been able to have fairly frequent gigs, which is great. But also I'm happy to be at home chilling or practicing or whatever as well. So like it's all good. The transition into teaching as well. Teaching drums, was a big thing as well. Yeah.
Where is like the journey with your hardcore band scene like at with you now? Like do you still get a bit of that creative outlet to play? Yeah,
in the past year or two, hasn't been super in my consistent in my life, but the band that like I guess I'm most frequently involved in is Rival Fire. But
did you play the support set for Kiss?
Yes.
Sorry, I cut you off, but
no, that's a good segue.
Sparked a memory of mine.
Yes, so we did.
That's right. Yeah.
So this is the kind of crazy thing though. That was our most recent gig. That was in 2022.
Oh wow. Okay.
So things with Rival Fire, I'm not really sure where they're at the moment. They're on a bit of a hiatus, I think, at the moment. Yep. For no particular reason. I mean, people have got busy lives in family lives and things. And I'm actually the only remaining Melbourne member because everyone else has moved away.
Oh, okay.
So, Zach, the bass player, has moved to Sunny Coast, and Rob, the singer, has moved to Byron. And Vinny's always been in Queensland anyway. But I'm the only Melbourne guy. But yeah, so obviously Rob's gone a lot, been through a lot recently with his dad being ill. So that's that's been like a thing of, because it's kind of Rob's band, like Rob leads the band. But yeah, so the Kiss thing was that was kind of crazy. So we did Rod Laver Arena, so that's the first time I've done that, which was like really amazing to play at that venue. And supporting one of like the most iconic bands of all time, like it's kind of crazy. And I don't even really know how it came to be honest. Rob does, but I don't really know exactly the ins and outs of like how we got asked to do that, or but yeah, it was a weird time, because initially it was going to be in 2019, that concert or the tour, and then Paul Stanley from Kiss got ill, so they didn't come out. So they postponed their tour. Then COVID happened, and I believe Paul Stanley didn't have COVID, because it was, I think, just before COVID hit. So unless it was very early, but I don't think it was. So then COVID hit, and then they finally announced that they will come back out in 2022, I think it was. So we were on one show. They did 3 shows in Melbourne, and each show had a different like Australian support, which I think is great. I think that's really good to kind of share it around, and all the supports were Aussie, and it was literally just them and the support. So like we were playing, and then Kiss was playing. So it was a really cool experience. I wasn't sure how like their fan base would respond to us. I really wasn't sure, but there was just an overwhelming kind of sense in the audience of like Aussie pride.
Cool.
Which was really cool. Of like, this is an Aussie band supporting, our favorite band of all time. Like, awesome. Like, so there was a really, they might not even like the songs or whatever, but there was definitely a sense of like, that everyone there was like really proud that there was an Aussie band there. And we were super stoked to be there, of course. It was weird though, because we didn't get to meet them because of COVID. Like, if just say for instance one of us had COVID, we didn't know it, we met Gene Simmons, shook his hand, then he gets COVID, then the whole tour gets cancelled. It's like it's too risky, and I totally get that from their standpoint, and the producers of the whole thing standpoint. So we didn't get to meet them because they were pretty like locked up kind of thing, separated from everyone else, I think. Just to be in the same building as them was pretty cool. It's crazy to look back on. But yeah, that's over two years ago.
Wow.
Now. Yeah.
How's it feel to walk out and play like a stadium show as opposed to like I'm at Jazz Lab with like, 20 to 100 people?
Yeah. This is the strange thing. I find the bigger the crowd gets, the less daunting it is. I know that sounds strange, but it gets to a point where it's kind of, you can't really process it, or at least I can't. If I'm in a room, at a Jazz Lab gig playing to 10 people, but I know every person there, that's kind of more daunting to me.
Yeah,
or even if I don't know them, that's kind of more daunting to me, because it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of like the spotlight is on you more or something. I don't know. I had the same thing. I was lucky enough to play the MCG one time as well for a halftime show, and there was 85,000 there that day. And I had the same thing. I got on the stage and I was playing, but I didn't feel how I thought I would feel. I thought I would feel like pretty nervous, like pretty like adrenaline pumping. I didn't really feel like much different than normal, because it was just too much to comprehend, too many people to comprehend.
Wow.
It was kind of strange, yeah. But having said that, it's amazing. The thing I will never forget, I think, is when the lights go down and we're walking out on stage, and there's someone, like one of the tech guys with a light, just showing us on stage. I think that's a really special moment when all the lights go down. Yeah. And then the buzz in the room is like electric. And then you count in the first song. I think that's a really special moment. And then once you're playing it, it's kind of, I don't know, it's as normal. And I try to look out as much as I can of like what this image is of all these people in an arena. But yeah, it's a really hard to yeah, it's hard to explain the feeling because, as I said, it's not how I thought I would feel, but yet it is an amazing feeling too. Yeah.
Do you remember the last time that you were nervous for a gig?
Oh, yeah. I think probably something like for Sister Act, for example, like opening night or something, or like the first show or something, because we're still all getting used to it. Just kind of, not wanting to sabotage a slick production, like without meaning to. So I think just like the first few shows of a big production show, I think is kind of it's a bit nerve wracking, and then obviously once the ball's rolling, once you've done it a bunch of times, and you walk in and play a show and walk out, and it feels pretty similar. But I think something like opening night, because with opening night, there's a lot of friends and family. The vibe is electric, and it's a similar kind of thing what I was saying before with the arena show. Everyone's buzzed to be there, kind of thing, and that's and then you feel that, and you don't want to. You don't want to do a bad job in front of all these people and all that kind of thing. So yeah, in a way, that's like a bit nerve wracking. But the most nervous I've ever been playing is probably like back at uni days when you're playing in front of your peers. There's something about playing in front of your peers which really nerve wracking. Like in that Monash auditorium, there's something about it that was it's kind of daunting. Like even though they're all supportive but that everyone's studying music, and everyone's like, there's lots of other drummers in there or whatever, and it's they're going to be analyzing, well, what's he doing there? It's like, it's kind of nerve wracking. I reckon those in front of peers performances are always get to me. Yeah.
Do you think that there's like a a future world where we're going to see like the Kieran Rafferty drum clinic, and you take us on a journey back into like all the different stuff that you're working on, especially
That'd
like
be cool.
Yeah, I remember just being absolutely blown away watching you play, especially at Monash.
Too kind.
Oh, mate, absolutely. Like, and it's so well deserved that you've gone on to just make an excellent career out of it. But like, I don't know, I feel like you used to work on so many different things that like, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what you'd put on.
Yeah, I'd have to hit the practice room a lot before I would do that. That's for sure. Because just as I was saying previously, like when we get older, we have less time to kind of work on these things that we want to work on, and we're kind of more so working on, I guess, or being prepared for the next gig or whatever. And that's often just kind of just knowing the song. Really, it's less technically challenging or whatever. But like in lockdown, because I had no gigs. It was really, that was actually, I felt like I had a much more positive outcome of the lockdowns than a lot of other people, because of, and I don't take this for granted at all. I was in a situation where I was living at home, so I didn't have to worry about a mortgage or anything like that, which is great. But I could kind of just practice what I wanted to practice. So like I'd be writing down all these things of like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to kind of look at that bit in that song for ages, but I haven't had time. So now I can actually like go for it. So lockdown was actually an interesting one for me with that. Just like practicing like double kick stuff. Like cool. I basically never use double kicks for any gigs these days, but I do love music that involves double kick, and I do love the working on that kind of thing as well. So I was getting that out and playing some cool stuff, and it was these days I don't really have the time to be doing that too much, but I'd love to. I mean, if I had some clinics lined up, for sure, that'd be cool. I'd have to work out what the hell I was doing with that, for sure. I guess a similar, more recent thing of that kind of time set aside to work on stuff was the end of 2023. When we finished the Rocky Horror Tour, and I took the whole year off teaching, basically.
Okay.
So we did from February to September. That was all Rocky Horror. And then I had the end of the year, end of 2023, kind of just to do whatever came up. Mm-hmm. So I was doing a bit of dapping on Moulin Rouge and stuff like that. But I decided to compose a few drum solos, which I put on YouTube and film them professionally and everything. And that was a really cool kind of thing to delve into. actually composing, because I'm not really a composer. Like I don't mind arranging some stuff sometimes. I'm not a composer though, but I decided to compose some just drum solos. And that was really rewarding, I think, to do. It was good for me to do that, especially after doing 8 months of the time warp. Which was really fun. But so
were they the videos that were at Kerry?
At Kerry, no.
I'm thinking of something else. I feel like I remember seeing the videos of you playing drum solos.
Yeah, they're in like a studio. I filmed them in definitely not at Kerry. No, it's an what suburb is it? A guy, Dan Presland, owns it. He's the drummer. I think he was the drummer for Neobliviscaris. I think he might be going back in the band actually.
Ooh.
From what I heard recently on a post, I think. But anyway, so he owns it's at his place.
Yep.
And he's converted his garage into this awesome like drum recording studio. So I went there to record these solos and like super happy with how it came out, especially the filming as well. A guy called Jess from Neon Sheep Productions. The way he's edited it looks like it's one take. It's not one take.
Ooh.
It was quite a few takes, like I did it in sections. So I would love to have been able to do it in one take, but I just realized I'm not going to be happy with it, like for my own playing. So I did it in sections, and he's a master at editing because it really does look like it's one take. So it's like all props to Jess for that. Just wrote a couple of drum solos, and that was a good little end of year project for me to do. So that's probably that might be the most recent kind of thing of me hunkering down and really kind of working on in that kind of aside from gigs kind of thing. Yeah.
What's the writing process of that for you? Like, are you memorizing stuff? Are you notating it by hand?
No, I memorized it. I decided to write it down after the fact.
Okay.
But I basically wrote it. I think I wrote, as in in Sibelius, some things that I needed to write down to see to be able to play properly, kind of thing from a technical standpoint. Yeah. But otherwise, I kind of just memorized what it was. But it's all composed. Like there's no improvising involved in those two pieces. It's all note for note. Like I want it to be this kind of thing. Yeah, which you haven't really ever done before. I don't think. It's more so been just improvising a solo or whatever.
Yep.
But I wanted this to be a particular thing, and it's like all to click as well. Like I clicked it out and everything. So, it was really rewarding doing that.
Yeah. It's so good that you've done it and put it out in that format too.
Totally,
like it's so accessible, I suppose, for people to like be able to engage with.
That's right as well, because I was looking at did the old Google Kieran Rafferty drums, and just to see what came up for people who wanted to know more about me and what came up, and I was like, I wasn't really happy with what was coming up in terms of like if it's just a raw camera footage of a gig or something. It's like I don't really. So I decided to do that as well for that reason, for a really high quality product of what I can do. It's handy to have that out there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How much of that, like, I don't know, business communication side of things do you spend thinking about?
Oh, hardly any. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm pretty lazy on social media as well. Like, I'll post every now and again of something coming up, but I'm not like posting about every gig I'm doing or anything like that. But also when I'm doing a show, like I'll post that I'm doing this show, and then that'll be it for 3 months, because I'm just doing the show. And it's not my job to promote the show; it's someone else's job. The business side of things, I'm not really very good at, or more so the time to think about it, or the brain space to kind of be worrying about that stuff. I don't really want to be doing that. Yeah.
Well, I like what you made. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, and excuse the brain fog. I realized what the Kerry thought was, and that was that my mum when I told her I was about to talk to you, was very excited because she's seen you play at Kerry with the Jack Earl Trio a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, cool. At the jazz night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, you know, Jack Earl Trio has been going for ages with you and Jack and Pat.
Yeah.
What's that relationship like when you get the call for another one of those gigs?
Yeah, that's another group that has been amazing for me as an improvising player in a very small group setting. We haven't done much stuff recently, but yeah. So from, I reckon we would have started that maybe 2015 or 2016 or something like that, and yeah, it was a really cool outfit to. So Jack would bring us a tune, right, that he'd written, and it would just be a lead sheet. So I have all the freedom in the world to kind of, you know, come up with my own kind of parts. But often he might have a little idea as well, because he's really good at thinking of drum grooves and what he is envisioning as well. So I trust him. That's another thing as well. Just the trust in that group is super strong. Of like, yeah, we all trust what each other's doing. So yeah, that and from an improvisational aspect of things as well, that was really, dedicated a lot to that group of me being a better drummer these days because of that, of those years being with that trio, and also Jack likes writing complicated stuff, which is great. Like it's cool to work on, and we never go into a gig like sight reading or like one rehearsal. Like there's always a few rehearsals of it, and we want to do the music justice, of course, and it needs it. So it's great just to kind of be in the room with them for a few rehearsals and just kind of figuring out what's the best way that this tune can fit, and what am I meant to do in this 7/16 groove, or whatever, you know. It's that though, but that trio has been a lot of fun to be a part of, super rewarding, and I owe a lot to Jack actually in terms of getting into the theatre thing as well, because he's often involved in music theatre stuff when he's not touring with Tina Arena. So he's been a big one of getting me into that world as well, when he's been MDing stuff. And also the other person I need to shout out is Dave Beck as well. So because depping for him has led me into knowing more and more MDs and stuff like that to be potentially picked to be the primary drummer for shows and stuff like that. But he often asks me to dep for him, which is awesome to be more and more part of that world, because I really enjoy it. Really enjoy doing the theatre thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Is that, like, I don't know, the next 5 years, would you love to just be playing as many theatre shows as you can?
To be honest, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. But I really enjoy the well, first of all, it's a nice steady employment income thing, which is obviously these days, you know, it's good to have that. I love the fact that I don't have to. So tonight I've got a show tonight, right? I'm going to walk in like this with nothing. At the start of the week, I normally have a backpack with me of, like, say, you know, my fresh water bottle that I've just cleaned or whatever, and some my black jeans or black shoes and stuff like that. And then I would often just leave my backpack there and walk out just with nothing. And I love that because the whole setting up drums for every gig is just, it gets pretty tiresome. And logistically it's so great. And also it's just great walking into a gig, knowing exactly how it's meant to sound, knowing exactly what you're meant to do. And also just being basically fully prepared for the music that night. When I'm going from gig to gig to gig, I don't know if you feel this way, but I never feel quite prepared for any gig, because I'm going from gig to gig. It's kind of impossible to feel 100% prepared for gigs when it's in that, when you're doing that. Whereas when you're doing a show, you're doing it 8 times a week. Like, you're gonna know the heck out of it. Like, I've kind of memorized Sister Act by now, basically. And I know exactly what I'm doing. Everyone else knows exactly what they're doing. You try to make it the best possible product every night if you can. And I love that challenge as well, because that's a challenge. You know, you start to really hone in on little discrepancies that you might be doing from night to night, and you try to fix them the next night or whatever, but then something else might be a bit off that night, so then the next night you try to fix that bit. So it's kind of it's a good challenge like that. And I kind of love being in a drum booth as well, because I feel, and on in-ears is great. Like, so from an aural standpoint, it's lovely because you can just set your mix however you want it. And yeah, so those are like some of the things that I really love about doing the theatre thing. Whereas some other people would just get so fed up with playing the same thing 8 times a week for 3 months, and I totally get that as well. But I think I've got the right mindset for it. Are
there a couple musicals that you're like, oh, I'd love to do that one if they ever, brought that to Melbourne or something?
I reckon Book of Mormon would be really fun, because I think it's just so funny as well. Like, as a show, it's so funny. But also some of the music I really enjoy as well. But I've been lucky to have played shows that I've loved, like Hamilton and Wicked as well. I love playing Wicked. It was really that was a really good challenge, actually. Because they're so orchestral in the way that some of the songs are, it's a good challenge because it's all on stick, as in there's a little bit of click, but there's not really much click on it. So you're following the conductor whilst reading the charts, whilst keeping an eye on what you're playing on the kit, because it's, when I was doing that, it's Dave's kit, so it's not exactly where I would put things. So I was always saying to myself, like, my eyes have to be in 3 places at once. When that's kind of true, like the MD cam, the chart, the kit. So that was kind of hard, but really rewarding. I think that was a really rewarding one to do. But yeah, so ones I haven't done, Book of Mormon I've never played, but I reckon that'd be really fun. God, what else? I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot, but I just thought I'd ask.
That's all right. I don't know. Not sure right now.
Do you like the orchestral type ones when you get the chance to do it? Like, does it bring, I don't know, like that same kind of like challenge that's enjoyable, even though maybe you're playing like a lot of oompa 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 or something like?
The oompa oompa I can get sick of pretty easy, actually, to be honest. I haven't really had to do many shows like that, to be honest. Like more of the old school ones. I don't think I've done many of those kind of things. I think I would get sick of that pretty quickly. But yeah, the more orchestrally kind of ones. The thing about with Wicked, I think someone once described it as, like if an orchestra were to play Metallica, because it's got this it's got this depth and groove to it, and there's some really cool drum parts to it. The Broadway cast recording, the drum sound is pretty exceptional. Like, it sounds awesome. But I love the fact that the tempo does go up and down, and you kind of go with the music there in certain pieces. I think it is really, really cool. And as drummers, we're typically used to playing the one tempo for the same song, for the whole song. But it's a nice, really nice change to do that kind of thing. Or even if you're there's lots of little like finger cymbal hits that you have to do in that show that are integral to certain characters.
What's a finger cymbal hit?
What I mean by that is there's the hanging finger cymbal down on like a on the same. So I'm not like hitting 2 together. Yeah, I'm hitting a finger cymbal with like a triangle beater.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And that happens quite often in the show because I think it's a very well written show. It's related to, I think, Glinda's character, the finger cymbals, and then like Elphaba has a different kind of percussion aspect that is related to her character, so that happens as well. Anyway, so but just getting those in the right spots is rewarding as well, and it's just more of a percussion-y aspect, which is good to break it up. Yeah, I find. Just to keep you alert, because those kind of things, I guess, don't come as naturally to us. I guess we can all play 4/4 groove, but can we play this finger cymbal hit on the exact right beat? each show I think has its rewarding aspects and fun bits and harder bits and annoying bits.
Well, we've been playing this game on the show.
Yep.
Where I get the previous guest to ask a question of the next guest.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah.
Could I get you to put the headphones on?
Yep.
And I've got a question for you.
Yep.
From Beck, as part of the Invictus Quartet, who were here on the last episode.
Okay, cool.
Something like the most important piece of advice that they can give to someone else who is wanting to be working in the same field as they are.
Okay. This piece of advice for another musician. Okay. I think a good piece of advice that I heard one time, and this is more, I guess this relates to just life in general, but you shouldn't worry about something that the next day is like not a big deal at all. Like something might happen to you, even if you make a little mistake, I guess, in music or whatever. The next day, if you're going to look back on that and be like, oh, why did I worry about that? Like, who cares? You shouldn't be thinking about, you should just forget it immediately, kind of thing, and move on. I should take that advice as well. If I'm making a little error when I'm playing, it's odds are that I'm the only one who's going to notice it. Maybe some other people in the band. The audience probably definitely doesn't notice it. And don't forget as well, I suppose, that you're the one that knows what you're going to play the best. And if it's not going to translate out the front unless it's a massive boo-boo. And then in that case, then laugh about it because that's funny. Like,
yeah,
so I think, and I need to also remember that advice as well, because I'm the same. When I make a mistake, I'm hard on myself, but I think we need to just move on and just like, yes, it happened. You can't change the past. Just just keep doing your thing. Yeah,
that's awesome. I like the practical nature of that. Like, are you going to be thinking about it tomorrow? Because it gives it like a real like, I don't know, like how much weight does this thing have?
Exactly.
All right, not very much, so I'll let it go.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Well, what question would you like to ask our next guest?
Yeah. So I knew, by the way, I knew this was coming, so I did have a think about this because I have been put on the spot by these type of questions. So what I thought of was the question I would like to ask is, if you were to be a fly on the wall for any album recording session that's happened in history, which recording session would it be?
Yeah. Awesome question.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. I haven't actually thought about this answer. I mean, from watching, luckily we've all been able to kind of have this luxury with the recent Peter Jackson Beatles doco that went on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, all the Beatles stuff is pretty, like that's pretty awesome to see that stuff unfold. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of an example where it's very much like no one has any footage of it. I don't know. Maybe even like some of the early... Actually, you know what? I might actually say the first album that Travis Barker did with Blink, which I believe is Enema of the State. So like late 90s. I think that'd be a really cool thing to have seen because he's a new member to the band and making these amazing drum beats, and like he's so creative. I don't know what you reckon about Travis, but he's like so creative as a drummer in his parts, and the sound of that, the production of that album, especially in the drum sound, I think is amazing. So I'd love to have watched him enter the band and like kind of completely change the sound of the band. I think for the better, personally. Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool thing. So I'm going to say Enema of the State, Blink 182.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you seen them play live?
Yes, I have. I just had to think about that for a second because I was disappointed that I didn't see them recently when they were out here start of last year, I think it was. So I saw them, funnily enough, I saw them at Sydney My Music Bowl, but not with Travis because at that time he wasn't traveling on planes.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. I don't know if I should explain it on the podcast for people who don't know.
Maybe briefly, yeah.
So Travis Barker was involved in a plane crash that involved in his friend dying, and he had, you know, massive burns to his whole body. And like, fair enough. Like, if you don't want to travel on planes after that, like, I totally get that. My God, what an experience. But he has recently, been flying again, which is amazing. So at that time when I saw them, it was, what's his name? Brooks Wackerman on drums. And I love Brooks is playing, like, because he's done stuff with Avenged Sevenfold, Tenacious D, one of my favorite bands of all time. I love Tenacious D. And he was playing with Blink on the Aussie tour. And this must have been maybe like, I don't know, I'm not sure when it was, 2018 or something, maybe around then, 2017, 2018, I think. So I have seen them, but I haven't seen them with Travis. And that's something I will do one day. I hope.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself like moving overseas and, you know, getting onto like the West End or something like that, and, you know, pursuing what you do here but in a different city or country?
Right now, that thought hasn't really come to my mind. I feel like the stage of my life now, in terms of personal life things, I feel like I'm setting up my life, you know, here in Melbourne, you know, as at home with my amazing fiance Shannon. So I don't think so.
Cool.
But like, who knows? Like, but if that were to happen, like, I wouldn't leave her, as in, like, she would be coming with me, kind of thing. So I don't envision it happening, but who's to say? Who knows? We might want to move to a different country. Who knows? But I don't think so. I don't think
cool.
so.
Well, Melbourne's very lucky to have you.
Oh, I love Melbourne. Melbourne's great. Happy to be here in Melbourne.
We should wrap up with 5 quick answer questions.
Oh, yes, the 5 quick answer questions. Yep.
What is your favourite venue to play in Melbourne?
So for this one, I have to give a shout out to the Paris Cat Jazz Club. It's a venue I've played, I think, the most times out of any venue in Melbourne. Maybe it's like, let's leave aside the theatres of when I'm doing a show.
Sure.
So Paris Cat definitely has been the place I've been at the most times, and it's always such a pleasure to walk in those doors, and Serge and Liz there have been amazing, you know, to me as a musician there, and yeah, just fun rooms to play in, and yeah, it's always been a good vibe. But I also have to say, obviously, like, you know, playing at Rod Laver was amazing, playing at the MCG is amazing as well, but that's just like a one-off kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna say Paris Cat Jazz Club.
Can I sneak in an extra? Like, where's the best drum booth?
Oh, we'll see. In terms of theatre, see that's actually built by the company usually. So the show brings the drum booth. So that's not provided by the theatre generally.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shows have their own booths.
Oh, who builds the best drum booth?
The one I'm in at the moment is actually really nice. It's got a good amount of room. There's nothing worse than feeling really squished in a drum booth, which is pretty common, let's be honest. But I feel like the one I'm in at the moment is with Sister Act has got a nice amount of room, considering I also have a mallet cat in there as well in the booth. So I've got the full kit and mallet cat. I'm enjoying where I am at the moment. Yeah.
Nice. What's your dream venue to play at?
Dream venue would be probably something like Madison Square Garden or Wembley Stadium or something like that. Yeah, that'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah. Would you is there any kind of like thing you'd want to do in the dream venue? Like, would it be with a band or like a
Tenacious
jazz?
D.
Oh yeah, okay. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm so disappointed that they had to cancel their tour. Yeah. Because of one measly comment, because I was going to go see them. And then, nope.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I get to see them one day.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
What is your coffee order?
My coffee order is either, depending on my mood, either a long macchiato or if I've got a bit more time to kind of just, you know, sip on it as we go, like a strong almond latte.
Nice.
So I like my coffee strong. I like it definitely strong, yeah.
Well, now I've gone blank. Oh, yes. What is your favourite place to get food after a gig in Melbourne?
Pancake parlour.
Pancake parlour?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because it's often on the way home for me, like the one in Mulgrave.
Okay.
Like near Chatty.
Yeah, cool. Are they open quite late?
Yeah, so I think that they definitely used to be 24 hours. I think they're still 24 hours.
Wow.
Often me and Shannon, she might have a gig and I've got a different gig, and we'd potentially sometimes meet at Chatty.
That's so cute.
Meet at Pancake Parlor and have pancakes post gig. But it's always funny because I'm usually in, say, my blacks if I'm in a theater show, like pretty cash, like, or even like this, because I often walk out in shorts because I've just changed after the show, and she's always like dressed to the nines, like in looking stunning, like immaculate, best dress, and it happens every time. So I'm like looking like a bum, and she's like looking amazing, and we're eating pancakes. It's amazing. It's a good vibe.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
All right, final question.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Wear earplugs a bit more.
Are you a custom plugs guy now?
No, I don't have customs. I'm perfectly happy with my Sennheiser 535s kind of thing.
Cool.
The customs are so expensive, and maybe one day, but I'm kind of like happy with just like the standard kind of things. It's fine.
What do you use for earplugs when you're not like running a monitor?
For earplugs, I got some custom ones made, earplugs made, I can't remember what the place is called. It's in Warrandyte, from a hearing place. Yeah, so
cool.
they're custom. Yeah, but IEMs, I just use like Sennheisers.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, strongly recommend hearing protection for all.
Yes, for
gig
all the young
goers
people
and
out
musicians.
there. Yeah. Just be a bit more. I wish I was a little bit more vigilant with, probably more so when I was going to go see gigs, rather than playing, but also playing a bit as well. Maybe when I was younger, but yeah, bit more ear protection, maybe. Yeah.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for doing this, Kieran.
Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's so cool to see what you're doing. You're doing amazing things, and
awesome.
such a privilege to talk to you. So thanks, Kieran.
Thanks, legend.